Hello, my name is Nandan Jadhav and I'll be doing the last sprint review of the game balancing class, and uh, I do have the latest build, so I'll just open it up. Okay, so the main objective of the sprint was just get most of, if not all, the bugs debugged, and yeah, just see if everything was functional. The main systems of the game were functional. Uh, So what I did work on was upgrading the objective system, which directed the player throughout the level. There does seem to be an issue when we did make the build that the collision boxes are not activating the actual objectives. Uh, I'm gonna have to go and take a look at it after, but for now, uh, the objective system has been upgraded exponentially from before. You can only have one specific objective that can be active at one time. Before, it was multiple objectives could just be activated by running through collision boxes, but now they're in a sequence of an array, and it goes down each item of the array, which is a specific objective, and it checks if it's complete, then goes on to the next. uh, that made it so the HUD itself is not as cluttered. And yeah, I'll get into the actual game. So all the main menu buttons are now fully functional. uh, the only issue with the main menu was the level select, where some of the buttons wouldn't take you to the right level because of the changes we made, but now it's been fixed again. And if I quit the game, it's just gonna quit the game. So I'll just do start new game and get into the actual level. Okay, so the player is at where they began. The cryopod, they wake up from it, they're confused where they are, they try and find where exactly they are in the level. This is where the first objective is activated, where they have to find out where they are, and they're led to this setup, and they understand that experiments were being conducted on them. There's also a secondary test subject that's seen through the second cryopod. And once this objective is completed, the player is prompted to find a weapon to defend themselves since they're in a unknown area. We added small effects to the key cards so they're more visible when the player is looking at it from afar. Like when you go close up, the glowy effect just show up, but they weren't exactly an objective that the player had to go collect. So this made it so it's more visible and the player goes and gets it. Okay. So this is where the player is told that they can shoot vents open using the gun, but they have no way of reaching it, and this door is offline. And they're shot to the side. We also changed how the turrets are so that they're easier to hit instead of being super thin. This is one of the big changes, is not having the advanced movement immediately ready or available for the player, which is the jetpack and the dash. So this is where the player will go in to like a storage room and get the actual jetpack. And once they do, they will be given a prompt on how to double jump. That's a widget that I am yet to add. That's more player facing information that's needed. The vents as well have the red lines now, which makes it more visible. But yeah, another player is told to escape the compound since they've been attacked by enemies on 2 occasions and it's like an unsafe environment. And yeah, so all the doors as well now have code for sound effects when they are open and when they close, but the same as the movement from the previous sprint, we are not we haven't found the decent assets that we want for everything. We're adding more sound effects as we move along, and we just don't want to add bad sound effects which take away from the game feel like a lot. Hence, the sound effects have not been added. So the player finds the exit for the actual facility through that security room. It's going to be a map that shows them where to leave, and that map leads them to a directive, and that's how they leave the actual level facility. This is just a generator that's missing a battery that doesn't have any actual objective right now for the player. They can just explore that area if they want to. Now this is where the generator actually matters to the player, because this door is connected to the generator, which is the exit, and that's the only door that the player can try and go through. There's also just a battery here, so the player can just grab that, head up the stairs, and this is the main reason the objectives were fixed. I mean, I can't call them fixed since they're not visible and I can't show you that they work. But in the U project, they are fully functional, where there's a bit of backtracking. The player has to go fix the generator and then they go back down. There's also audio feedback for the actual generator, which is the fans turning on. There's also code for the lights, which can be turned on even higher. The idea is that it's a very dark room and then the player turns on the generator and it's all lit up. But the actual lights are in a blueprint format and they don't work the way we want them to in the level, which is why we haven't implemented the lights yet. But yeah, so there's audio feedback for the actual generator being fixed, and then now the player can leave the actual level, or the facility for now at least. Now this is a area which is potentially going to be even bigger, where there's going to be like a second smaller building which is going to be an engineering facility. This is mainly the cryopod and scientific experiment facility. So this door won't open and the player has to find a way over it. And this is the second gate, the first one being the vent, which the player cannot access without a jetpack. So to head over this wall, the player has no other option but to go explore this kind of mechanic scrap area that's going to be made or building, and then eventually they find the jetpack mod, and once they do find it, they can now in the top left HUD you can see that an additional bar has showed up below the actual health, which is the number of dashes the player has left. And there's also going to be a prompt similar to the jetpack showing the player how exactly the dashes work. And yeah, now that the player does have the mobility that they need to get through the level, they can get over the specific wall and simply drop down, and they've made it out of the facility they're being held in. And yeah, the player sees the space elevator, which is the main focal point, and from here on out it's John's level, so I'll hand it off to him. Oh yeah, before I end it, I need to show that the pause menu is actually fully functional. The game pauses and resumes. It's pretty basic. You can go to the main menu again. Um, and yeah, when you quit, it simply just quits the actual game. So yeah, our game is in a comparatively balanced state. There are little to no bugs, the main bug being the objective, which I'll be working on fixing. And uh, yeah, we just need to move to assets and add more player facing information, sounds for everything, and our game will be good to go. That's my sprint review, and I'll hand it off to John. Thank you.
Hello, my name is John Balawat, and today I'll be going over the level that I've created and some of the features that I've added into our game. So this is going to be the second part to our beginning level. Basically, as you saw before, the player is waking up from a deep cryogenic sleep, and he's trying to figure out exactly what's going on, where he is, and who he might be. So this level is supposed to be based off of a military base, and it's supposed to be set somewhere in the near, or not near, but a distant future. So once we drop down here from the beginning level, let's open the game, pause really quick. All right. So here, the first thing that we need to do is have them explore the buildings. All right. Oh. I don't know what's going on here. But here in the text box it says they're all dead. And basically these are set up the same way that we had the first cryogenic pods that the player woken up from. And if we were to open up the information, we can see that it displays some descriptions about who was in it and their status. Over here. Alright. So scattered around this map there is a few hidden chests. I will not be going to every single one, but just to show you an example, this one had a light machine gun. So keep moving. The dialogue states, how long have I been asleep? To get the player questioning like, how long has the character actually been asleep? How far in the future is it? Is it like 10 years? Maybe 20 years? You know, who knows? And around the map there's going to be these enemies. We currently don't have like a name for them, but what our running idea is that there is a enemy faction that our main player used to be going to war with. That's basically who these enemies are supposed to be based around. And the narrative for this level is basically that they have infiltrated the base, which caused some type of alarm trip, which in turn awoken us from our slumber. Still not sure why they're doing that. Right. No more hidden chest over there. Let's continue. Maybe I can find some information in that tower. Let's go ahead and search what we can. This building is kind of familiar. This is to get a kind of a sense that the player has been here before. They know exactly where they are, but because of the deep slumber, their memory isn't fully there. And we know from before, the key card. Perfect. And that's right. I have an office just upstairs. I can definitely find out more information here. This is where things start to come and piece together. Doors open. Walk through here. This is it. Maybe that computer can help me remember. So let's go ahead and check it. That's weird. This notification is over 300 years old. Rendezvous to the Sky City. I guess I'll head over there. So this is basically giving more of a backstory about what happened here, where everyone is, and how long. And it gives the player a sense of how long they've actually been asleep. So it tells them that they've been asleep for about 300 years, and to explain why there's no more of his allies around is because they have already escaped. But escape from what? Who knows? Kill these guys. Oh. Alright. Let's see if we can get over there. Okay, can't enter through that door. Take care of these. Oh. Come on. Come on. There we go. Perfect. Just check to see if there's any weapons that I'm missing in here. Doesn't look like it. Oh. Alright, let's see what this is. Oh, cool. The handgun. So one of the other things that I've worked on for the game is our inventory system. It is currently now revamped a little bit to work a lot smoother. If we had any more in the inventory, it would show up here. It'll give us the level of the weapon, its description, and if we wanted to get rid of it from our inventory, we would just click the X here. Let's see, maybe if I can find another type of weapon. We do have 3 different types. It's got to be the building with the elevator, for sure. And they seem to be in a hurry to leave, as we can see with a bunch of shipping crates, a bunch of these vehicles hauling something. They're the, what's it called? The people from before, 300 years ago, were in a hurry for something. I guess I won't go that way. Keep going forward, see if there's anything around here. And we found a chest. Alright. Perfect. We got a shotgun. Let's see, is that a... Ah. Alright. So as we can see, it does tell us that the shotgun is a level 2. And it's based off of the current level that the player is at. So it is a short-range spread-fire gun. So let's go ahead and swap that. Perfect. Now we got the shotgun in hand. And as well, one of the other things that I worked on, if you see on the top left, it is our overshield and our health health bar. This will show how much of the shield we have left and how much health we have left. As well as right underneath both of those, it does have those 3 bars, which is our dash meter. So the player will have 3 dashes that they can perform. And every dash, it'll take away a meter. And we can't dash again until one comes back. There we go. They slowly come back as well. Alright, seems like this is the only door we can go to. Head up. Door seems locked. I wonder why. There seems to be connected to a generator. I guess we gotta power it. Let's see. There's gotta be something that I'm missing here. Aha. Alright, another one of these. Definitely looks like we're missing a battery. Yep. Here it is. Let's go ahead and install that. Perfect. Alright, let's head back up to that door. Let's see. It's got to bring us up to the space elevator. Almost there. Alright, perfect. This has got to be it. Oh yeah, for sure. So the control room has to be somewhere. These doors are locked. Have to go through here. Could this be it? Looks like computers. No, these are just maintenance computers. It's got to be upstairs. Alright. Click in the elevator. We'll head up. Alright. Perfect. I just have to start the elevator there. It's gotta be one of these. Oh, E to start elevator. Alright. I guess we're moving up. Hopefully I can find some answers in the station. Alright. So, that is the demonstration of my level that I worked on for our final sprint. Now we'll be moving on to the next person.
Hi, my name is Brian Fan, and I'll be playing through the SSG project. Throughout this project, I've mainly worked on the AI. So if I go through this map right here, you see there are 3 AI enemies. The purple one is an exploding one, so it explodes when you get too close. The red one shoots bullets that deal damage. And the last one, which is a melee AI, will, once they see you or once they're hit, they will chase you. Then once they get to you, they'll hit you, deal damage until you die or until they die. So, within this game, if I were to hit any of the AI, they will instantly detect where I am and start running towards me. So I find a melee enemy over here. Well, he sees me. So once he sees the player, he's able to run after them and chase them down until he dies or until they die. Let's die here real quick. The player can die to these enemies. Go. Now if I hit the AI from far away, it'd be able to detect me and instantly run toward me and start targeting me. Throughout this project, there have been a few bugs that I have encountered, where the melee enemy will not be able to hit the player because of a collision issue on the player itself. The player could only be hit if he was crouched below the enemy, but if he was standing straight up, he wouldn't be able to get hit. Additionally, added recently was the addition of the enemies dropping bullets, so that the player would not run out of bullets halfway through the level or while playing through the level. There also used to be a bug where the melee enemy would be able to chase the player, hit the player from below the wall. So the enemy would be here, but they'd still be able to hit them. Now the enemies just stand there, but they don't walk up to you. Another bug that has been found and hasn't been fixed yet is that the AI that can shoot, their bullets can go through walls, kind of, depending on where you're facing. The bullets will go through walls. Pardon me. Yeah. And throughout this entire project, this is what I've been working on. Enemies that have been that are difficult to fight against, if not strategically fought against, and enemies that are able to drop ammo so that the player does not have to restart the level to have enough ammo to finish the level. So the AI will be able to, so recap, the AI can see the player and will be able to chase the player. They have a roam feature where they just roam around within the nav mesh, and a detect feature where once they're hit by the player, they'll be able to detect instantly where they are and start chasing them. That was my work on the project. Thank you for watching.
Hello, this is Dakota Perryman. I'll be going through kind of what I did for this sprint, starting, I didn't really work on too much of the levels. I did more of some gun balancing and some AI stuff. So as you see, I redid some AI, so get these guys, they have an alert state, they'll kind of come after you. They see you and they'll kind of do some damage, kind of make it some smarter AI than what we had, and just giving them a little more life to the AI. Some of the other things I did was just general maintenance and bug testing. We had some bugs with this pause menu. If you would go into the talent tree, it would make it so you can't do this pause menu anymore. You would be able to click any of the buttons. I fixed that. I also added, if I go to the talent tree, I can press escape from here, and if I press escape from here, so the escape button not only acts as just the pause menu, but if you're in those other menus, it as a back out, which just feels a little nicer. I'll go until I find one of the other enemies. Another thing I did was weapon sounds. So as you can see here, this is the kind of basic, the LMG. Add some new sounds to it just to make the feel of the game a little better. Yeah, my main job in this sprint was kind of quality control and make sure all the weapons were kind of sound. I'll show off my other enemy if I can get over here. It's towards the end of this spaceship level that Gabriel has made. This is Gabriel's level. Brian will also be showing this level off, so there'll be a little bit of overlap in content in the video to show off people's stuff. Because the first level was John and Nadan's. They did that level design, but Gabriel is our main level design, and me and Brian do system designs. If I can get up here. Okay. And my other enemy, he roams around, is this guy. So he has, you can kind of see he was starting to roam, but he'll shoot, and once you're seen, and then he'll try finding a new location. If you stand still, he'll shoot you and you'll take some damage. But yeah, so I made 2 new enemies, and they have full loot tables now too, with spawning different weapons. Like that one, that was actually blue engram, so that gave me a fusion rifle bigger than my normal fusion rifle. It was actually the fusion sniper. So if I go find an enemy, like this guy, see I added a sound there. So they all have new sounds, which is very fun. I think it adds a good step to the game. And changing on just the feel of each weapon. I guess let's do one more. I'll finish this level so when Gabriel picks up, he can show the rest of it. There's a guy somewhere here. Okay, I'll let Gabriel finish the rest of this. But yeah, my main goal for I think I put in like 17, 18 hours was bug fixes, some quality assurance stuff, making sure the game feels a little better and looks a little better. Rework on the enemies. I actually plan on just reworking one enemy, but I made just 2 brand new ones with a kind of an advanced alert state and firing states. They're quite a bit more advanced than they used to be. And yeah, so I will hand it off to the next person. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Gabriel Alman, and today I will be showcasing what I did for this sprint. For this sprint, I decided to build a space station level which would bridge the beginning section of our game with the spaceship, which is our end level. I'm gonna open up the levels from the space station. I'm gonna press S to pause the game to show that it can. The player starts from the elevator where they left off at the beginning. They walk out to the airlock, which connects the station with an airport which seems to be surrounded by enemies from the faction that they face in the beginning. The player then makes short work of them and kills them while mining this sort of airport looking area, which is supposed to be an area where the travelers are greeted after they leave the space elevator. Originally, this door would be assigned for like a tram station, a lounge, but the power seems to be off on that. So the player has to go up to the observatory deck, which shows that there has been a battle in space, and they see a spaceport over to the left when they walk over. The main focus I wanted to showcase here was the big ships in the background, drawing the player's attention to look in the mirror and then looking to the left, drawn by the other ships in the spaceport. Normally there will be some dialogue here indicating that the player has to find a way to the hangar to get out from here. The player then tries to figure out a way, but sees that all the doors are locked, so he makes his way over to the left and sees that the door is unlocked. This elevator will take them down to the tram section of the level, with the hopes that the player will be able to get where they need to be. But once they get over here, they see that everything is destroyed, and there's some defense mechanisms in place that they have to destroy. The player then gets to explore all around the tram station that seems to be destroyed, while a light guides them to the lights and the tram guide them to where they have to go. They see an opening in the wall and some sort of storage room with a vent, like the one they saw before in the main beginning area. So they shoot the vent, and this is where I use the transfer technique, which teleports the players somewhere else, since the level is too big to be walked. Now this is a part where I combined one of Nandan's first things, which is a jumping puzzle he made. I remodeled it and made it work here so that the player is, when they look up, they see that they have to get up on top of there, but they have to find a way over there, so they have to use all their jumping abilities and stuff they have gathered through the beginning sections of the level, following where the turrets are. But they gotta be careful to not fall down, because if they fall down, they will die. Player then keeps making his way, eliminating turrets and threats. Along the way, they look back and they see that they have to make all the way over there. So the player jumps over to the right. It makes over to the left. Player has to keep going up. And they see that there's some sort of turret shooting at them, but they can't shoot it from here. So they have to rotate around and start shooting at. Till the player makes his way to the top, he leaves and sees that he's already at the hangar entrance. This level was supposed to be a little bit bigger, but due to time and quite frankly lack of inspiration, I had to cut it short until I keep working on it later this week to make up a really good level that focuses mostly on the story. The player then exits this section and reaches the hangar, where they're tasked with killing the enemies. The player then kills the first of the enemies and keeps moving towards the other enemies. And he sees another one of those melee fighter guys, which drops the scout rifle for the player. Another melee type fighter. And then there's this shooting guy. And there's still one enemy left that the player has to find. Since they see that there's a ship over there, but they can't reach it since the enemies are blocking the player from reaching the ship. Player then continues to make his way, trying to find out where the last enemy is hiding. Which she seems to be hiding over here. The player cannot attack him due to the position that he's in. He's hiding. He does his attacks, but he sometimes gets stuck on the ground due to the map being a little complex for him to move. Which means it's still a little bit of a work in progress. After the enemy is killed, the door opens, allowing the player to leave in the spaceship to the next level, which is the spaceship. For this level, I did some minor changes, just not a lot, just micro, I wouldn't say changes, just micro changes, quality of life stuff to make the player. The directives have been removed for now since we reworked the story and the script. The player is dropped in the ship and he has to make his way. He follows the sort of glowing lights. Goes through a set of airlocks. Yada yada. He goes in. He sees that the door over there is open, and he has to make his way over there. So he follows the red light to the other green building door. Then the player has to make his way inside this little scroll space that I have to make a little bit bigger in order to prevent the players from suffering, if they suffer from claustrophobia, so they don't feel cramped. Player makes his way, nothing in this part has changed, it's just killing enemies. So it was mostly just in the beginning parts of the section, just making the player, just giving me like a push to help them. Anyways, that was everything I did for this sprint. Thank you for watching.